All right. Before we dive into this week's choice, I got to talk about the box that showed up to my door. And honestly, when I saw it, I knew right away it was going to be a good one. That's right. I'm talking about Tokyo Treat, our monthly snack box sponsor. And this month, they sent me on a trip to Akihabara with the Akiba Snack Quest box. And for anyone who hasn't heard me ramble about Tokyo Treat before, it's a Japanese snack box subscription where every single month has its own theme built around exclusive limited edition snacks. And you literally can't get these snacks outside of Japan. No grocery store down the street is going to carry this stuff. It's coming straight from Japan right to your front door. And this month, leaning into the Akiba means leaning into anime and gaming arcade energy. And you can feel that throughout the box with all the snacks that are inside there. Now, first snack, obviously, for me, when I got right into it, was the cookies and cream Kit Kats. They are amazing. And obviously, it's going to be one of the things that I go for right away. But you know what I wasn't ready for? I was not ready for the Gapuri soft candy. Honestly, that one snuck up on me. It was amazing. It was really good. It was really chewy. And honestly, how delicious it was, it just blew my mind. It just, I kept saying, just a little nibble, just a little nibble. And no, I ate the whole thing quick. Obviously, I got to talk about the Bakuru cheese corn puffs. Now, if anyone knows or has listened to me before, I always love some nice corn puffs, some nice cheesy corn puffs specifically, and these hit that spot. They are dangerous, and they are dangerously easy to keep eating without even thinking about it, which is what happened to me. I ended up demolishing the whole thing right away. And then I also have the sour paper candy, brought just enough of sour punch to balance everything else out. And honestly, it was just amazing. It was a nice, wonderfully delicious little snack in there. Now, I also got to talk about the booklet. That's right. The cultural guide booklet that always comes in every single box. And it doesn't only give you information about the snacks. No, it tells you about the theme and Japanese culture and everything else. But the biggest thing that really is big in my house is it tells you about the allergen information. We don't dive into any treats inside this house unless we look at that booklet first. And that is because we have allergies in our house. And so it takes something that could be a potentially stressful time to something that is fun and engaging and makes it so that way we learn about Japan, learn about the culture, learn about the theme, and enjoy delicious snacks all at the exact same time. Now, if you want to grab your own trip to Akiba right now, or if you know someone who just loves getting a box like this, then go ahead and check out the affiliate link in the show notes and use coupon code featured anime to get $5 off that first box. It's worth it. I promise you. It is amazing. And once again, thank you, Tokyo Treat, for sponsoring this episode. And now on to the main show. Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we're going to be talking about the Irregular at Magic High School, which was a recommendation from the Irregular Jeb. Thank you, Jeb, for the recommendation. I very much appreciate it, as always. If you really want to hear what we were talking about a game that both Rick and I are very excited about coming out here pretty soon, as well as some other shenanigans. If you want to hear that wider conversation, go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content, plus 2 bonus shows every single month. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. It's the year to 2095, and magic, it really isn't something that is mystical and mythical anymore. Honestly, it's been turned into a hard codifying technology backed by science, taught at specialized high schools across Japan and the world, I would assume. And that's where we have Tatsuya and Miyuki Shiba. They enroll at First High for the school that basically sorts kids by test scores and to haves and have nots, who has abilities, who doesn't have abilities. So Miyuki, she ends up landing in the elite course 1 with all the other individuals, and then Tatsuya, he gets shoved down into class 2 and is treated like a weed by the blooms being class 1 above him. Except Tatsuya's score don't really mean anything. He's actually far more dangerous than basically everyone around him. And the reason and the season spends its first stretch basically letting the tension build before it widens into an inter-school competition, sabotage, terrorist plots, and eventually full-blown attack on the city itself. So you go from sibling romance, air quotes, drama at Magic High School, air quotes, to international incident pretty fast. And the whole season is really just a slow reveal of how overpowered this guy is.
Brother, I was a little weirded out by the
accuracy of your
sibling
of your and your sister's relationship. Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah,
because you're the older brother.
Sister.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing that was accurate to my personal relationship with my little sister is the fact that his little sister keeps trying to kill him.
No.
So I want to point.
She's not. She doesn't try to kill him. She only accidentally, mortally injured him, not killed, injured him one time. The rest of the time was very close or risque points or areas where she was about to go off on someone else. And he's like, hey, look, calm down. Don't worry about it. I'm right here. I got you, boo. I got you, babe. It's all right.
I 100% do not have that kind of control with my little sister. Love her to death. Could not tell her what to do ever. That being said, I want your question. I want you to focus on the time where he got mortally wounded, and we got our first glimpse into his quicksave ability. Would that be a fair way to put it out? In games you quicksave when you're about to die, just so you could restart and go back to a spot where you were perfectly fine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he quick saves every day. That's what I'm going to call it. Do you suspect? I suspect this. I want you to ask you if you think this might be a valid thing. If the little sister ever broaches a subject that she is either too embarrassed for, too hurt by, doesn't get the answer she wants, however, she kills him, resets when he does his quick load, he doesn't remember the conversation. And I think that my evidence for that is when he does come back, she goes, "Good morning, sleepyhead," or whatever. He goes, "Did I offend you, or did I say something that I wasn't supposed to?" Like, he has no knowledge of what caused her to Niflheim him.
Yeah, no one knows. We don't even know what he did. Like, she came in, she just like,
I'm feeling some type of way.
I'm feeling some type of way. And that's why, because he literally was just minding his own business, just being him. And she comes in and clocks him upside the head in a manner of speaking. All right. So, no, he remembers everything. He knows everything. And this is further solidified as well because the other, we'll save it for post show. But it is basically last episode where it makes my point. All right. That's why.
I see where you're coming from.
No. You don't see where I'm coming from, because if you did, you would go, "Oh yeah, no, that totally makes sense. That is why."
It does make sense, but here's my thing. Before, it says he makes a copy, or he does a quick save every morning. Not necessarily every. We can talk about it later. That's where I'm confused.
Yeah, they go into the actual details last episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll save it. I don't want to really spoil it for anyone. I mean, it's been
it's a
out.
massive boon.
It is.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But I mean, I'd rather save that portion of the conversation for the post show. All right. So, anyways, so the show, it doesn't take, or it takes a kind of unique perspective, right? Where you still have kind of a class system where you are broken up into like basically haves and haves nots, right? So
yeah.
And there are some people that basically, and the thing is, they at that school specifically say you're not allowed to call anyone in class 2 a weed, and you're not allowed to call yourself blooms. Like that, you're class 1, you're class 2. It's like don't demoralize them, don't demean them because they're not here, because they lacked in one particular way. And this is, I'm glad they did this in the very first episode, because the standardized testing, right, that they did, it's basically, it's merit based, and it's tests on very specific sets, but it doesn't test on what the people are actually good with, right? Like their unique skill sets, right? So my question to you, right, after laying that really laborious foundation is, do you feel like, based on how the show was set up, do you think it did a great job of actually setting up the whole, like, hey, he's secretly overpowered thing? Or do you feel like what I feel, which is like, obviously you can't have the OP character be OP at the beginning right away for everyone to see. You gotta have him labeled as a quote unquote underdog to come up through the ranks. So do you think they set it up well, or do you think they did piss poor? Like it was obvious what was going to happen just from the name. But.
Oh yeah, it was obvious from the get go. But did they do it well?
Did they do it well, and did they set up everything well? Right?
Everything was set up amazingly well.
Okay.
I believe it's not the only way they could have done it, but it was a damn good way, because it allowed you to gain access to characters that were underappreciated, underutilized, and misunderstood. Whereas if he went in there overpowered, he would have never had access to these class E people, because they would never have approached him, and he would have most likely never gone out of his way to approach them if he was in the other. If he was in class 1. Yeah, if he was in class 1. So whereas because he was in class 2, class 2. Sorry, I think I said class E.
Yeah.
Sorry, but because he was in class 2, everyone felt he was very approachable, even though everyone there was like, dude, you are way out of our league. How did you score so poorly? It still felt comfortable enough to, hey, we have some kind of camaraderie. So I think they did a good job on that. I think it was purposeful. I mean, obviously it was purposeful, but I think that it would not have worked gone the other way, because it would just reinforce that, blooms are better. And blooms and weeds were treated as almost slurs that everyone seemed to use, except like student council. So, and class 1 always had a chip on their shoulder.
No,
not only
it's not that they had a chip on their shoulder. They felt they were superior and better, which is why they called themselves blooms.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped lay the foundation and really kind of break it out, in that you have all the I can't remember the character, but he was so gun-ho. He had such a whatever to just go, you're lesser than me because you're class 2, even to Tatsuya and his sister Miyuki, where they're like, he's like, you shouldn't associate with Tatsuya. He's a weed. He's nobody. He's this and that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, bro, he can slap the living daylights out of you. It's like, come on, calm down.
And the fact that he does Like, what was it, episode 2? He gets challenged to a duel, and he's like, "All right." And I feel like he. Here's why I think that this character is so cool. The character embodies the philosophy that 50 Cent has. And I say that because in one interview I saw him say, "You know, I don't look for trouble, but if you bring me trouble, I got no problems with trouble." And I took that to mean like I don't go out of my way seeking issues, but if you bring an issue to my feet, that's okay. I have the skills and the ability and the desire to correct any issues.
No,
Granted,
for him, he doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't even care about issues. It's like you could say whatever, but the second what his problem is second you like say, "Hey, no, your sister's a liar." He's like,
yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's a problem you bring. Well, you could besmirch me all day long. I got no problems with that. But the second you start talking about something I care about, then we have a problem.
yeah.
So
And
like
what it,
he walks through life. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, he literally for him doesn't care about anyone, no one, anything doesn't matter. His sister, on the other hand, good luck to you.
Well, don't they say that she gets angry like she does on his behalf because he is unable to get angry?
That's what he says. He
That's what he
says,
says. Okay.
that's what he says. He's like, "You're able to get angry for me on my behalf because I'm not able to get angry." And she's like, "Oh." And then everyone starts swooning because they have that moment. They're like, "Oh, I
Yep.
just like moving in closer." And then he's like, I'm joking, everyone. And it's like, "Oh," and including the sister, "Oh, he's
Mm-hmm.
joking." But is he?
Yeah. Yeah. This anime spawned so many spoofs on this
Oh yeah, well
of like
the brother complex, sister complex, and
yeah.
what's great is the anime even calls it out. It's like, "I don't need you calling me out on a brother or sister complex." All right, he's the last person to say that.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So
Yeah, no, it was yeah. They didn't take themselves too seriously in that manner, which was nice.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, like basically, and for you, just to make sure I have this right, Tetsuya, you feel like he reads like the fact that he is a emotionally dead character majority of the time is great for you, right?
Yeah, because
Adds to the
it
story.
fits what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits the story, it fits its character,
And
and
it lands the deadpan comedy moments all the better.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And I think the fact that he's so, I'm going to use the term no nonsense because that makes the most sense to me. He's so no nonsense about everything he does when people are like, "It's going to be impossible," and he's like, "I guess I'm going to have to do it then." No one questions it. They're like, "Okay, it's impossible. I could probably do it." "Okay, what do you need us to do?"
Yeah.
Pure faith, pure, utter faith from sheer competency. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Well, when you walk into the room and you stretch your stuff, people
Yeah, right?
respect. People respect.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah.
Because he's got such. If you got to censor this, I'm sorry. He's got such big dick energy. You know he's coming because his shit enters the room 2 minutes before he does. Like it is the sheer. I think they call it aura farming now, but like he was doing it way before it was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sheer awe, inspiration, trust. Every positive virtue you could possibly have has been given to this character, and not because they explained why he should have it, but because time after time after time he came through. Granted, you can call it Mary Sue, you can call it overpowered, you can call it plot. There was a valid reason for why it worked. Now, the only plot I think he had was nigh omnipotence and genius level intellect. I don't think that like it was one of those things he had to earn. It was something he was born with. So it was one of those innate abilities, but some people have it, some people don't. But the fact that that's really the only indicator of what I consider to be plot or plot armor, I can live with it.
Right. So here's the question for you.
Mhm.
So we know a little bit about Tatsuya and Miyuki, and one of the things that they do, especially in the first like 2 episodes, is they start breaking out who the 10 master clans are. It's like, he's one of the numbers. It's like, blah 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 blah
Yep.
blah blah blah. And for me, all I got from that was that they basically control a lot of power, magic power. I'm assuming in general power. I mean,
I took it as influence.
okay. I mean, okay. So I feel like it's like not just magic power, even though they definitely geared heavily towards that, right? They have the 10 clans, but where
Yep.
does the clan that Tatsuya and Miyuki are from, the Yotsuba clan, like where do they fall into the entire spectrum of it, right? Where do they fall within that whole hierarchy? Because everyone else basically, it's like, they have political power, not just magical power, but political power, right? Like how,
Mhm.
like why go through the entire setup for us in season 1 of especially the first 2 episodes of laying out all the work of saying, these are the 10 master clans. And then you really only ever deal with a couple of them. And you only really kind of deal with like, a little bit of them. But they keep like.
You might be saving them for later?
Maybe, but they keep teasing the Yotsuba clan. And they keep teasing information about him.
Mhm.
And they give you just enough of information about him. So, like, do you feel like they tried to do too much in this season? And that's what I think. I feel like they did try to do too much, because basically you could take the entirety of episode arcs from the episode names.
Fair enough, yeah, because they did like enrollment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there was competition day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I think that the naming was a bit annoying, but as far as what you're referring to, I feel like, and the show kind of shows this more often than not, strategy over power, ingenuity over strength, and I think that's what that is. I think that the 10 clans are the public image, not the underground, not the underbelly. They're the public image of power. And I think that instead of rivaling the military, I think they work alongside the military, which is why you saw all those military generals in one room talking amongst themselves and stuff like that. They seemed rather chummy. So I think it's an alliance of sorts where you have a military, government assisted side of it, and then you had civilian militia, if you will, that are able to handle civilian issues. But then you also have the individual clans, like the hidden villages, or like the ninja, the ninja that they were trained with and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's not part of the 10 master clans. Like, and that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. He's separate.
Yeah, well, I mean, he calls himself a shinobi, but that's not like the core of my question. My question is like, do you feel like they tried to do too much in laying the foundation? Right? That was my question. That's why I said, it's like, do you feel like they tried to do too much?
Oh, okay.
For it, they had like
I thought multiple, it was a two-parter.
No, it's. Yeah. I tried laying the foundation out. It's like, hey, this is what they did. Yeah. This is what they did. This is how the structure was. Do you feel like they tried to do too much with it? Right? Do you feel like, because this is what I feel, right? They were talking about the Yotsuba clan and then the 10 master clans, and you got a little bit of information about Tatsuya. You got a little bit of information about the 10 master clans, and it was sprinkled throughout. But it's like, I feel like it kind of falls flat. I feel like it's meant to be heavier or hold more weight than what it actually did. And I feel like we never got that payoff in the first season, because we got to see some information about them. Well, we got to know a little bit about the 10 master clans. We got to know a little bit about this, but there wasn't actually anything there. So was it, and so my question was, Do you feel like they tried to do too much where you just never get the payoff? Or do you feel like they did just enough?
I feel like that is an answer that it would only be satisfied in its entirety when we know that the last episode of the season or the show airs. Because if they're playing the long game, if they're playing the long game where, 35 years from now, you could watch season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom, back to back. They did perfect. But if you're watching it 2 years ago, it's annoying as all heck because now you're like, well, I want more. I don't know enough. I want more. So I think time would matter. Like if you watched this series again 5 years from now and you had all these answers and you were able to binge it all, I think it would make a lot more sense. But in our stance right now, in our situation right now, I do think that you are correct where they kind of overreached. They overplayed their hand. They've got 26 episodes and they laid a lot of foundation. They laid a lot of groundwork that they really didn't follow through with in the first season. That I don't expect them to. I expect them to follow through in the second and maybe even third season to sprinkle a little bit more and make the first season relevant.
Yeah, I could see that. But at the exact same time, I don't want to have to remember these tiny, random, intricate details across 20 different seasons, right? If you're going to lay that foundation,
that's fair too.
If you're going to lay the foundation for this random thing that was said one time, like beginning of season 1, I shouldn't have to try and recall that information 6 seasons later, right? If you're going to give me information, give me information. If you want to tease me with information, don't put it in there because it just takes away from stuff that actually matters. And we see this all the time when it comes to a lot of other anime that we really, really like, where like you see this one thing, it's like, I wonder what that was about. And then you know nothing about it. You get no information. There's nothing having to do with it.
Yeah, the Chekhov's gun effect, where if you don't use it, it's a waste.
Yeah, and I feel like, and sadly, there's a lot of anime that are out there that do that. And I feel like
1,000%.
I feel like this is going to be one of those things where they gave us a lot of information. They teased us with a bunch of random stuff, but it's never going to pay off. We're never going to get the payoff from all that information that we were given.
Now, is it possible that they're counting on your rewatch? Because, we've seen some anime where we've seen a while ago and we haven't really finished it, but at the same time, we've gotten far enough in the series that we rewatch it specifically for this anime. I think, or not anime, this podcast we do, where you're like, oh, that makes so much more sense. That right there, they're foreshadowing, but it's just too much of a time from when they said it to when they enact it for us to see it on the initial viewing.
Yeah, I don't know if they're counting on that, and if they are, that's a bad strategy, because more often than not, if you're giving bad information or you're giving a bad feel for the show right out the gate, the likelihood of you continuing on is, small, slim. Granted, 3 seasons, multiple movies out now for this. Obviously, it garnered enough popularity, and people saw the light, so to speak, and continued to make it. But more often than not, that's never the case. We would have a show like this, and there's just like, I don't know. I didn't really get much out of this. I keep going back to Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy. It's a great example. They have a lot in there. There's a lot. It was a good show. It was a fantastic show.
Mm-hmm. Better manga. Better light novel.
Better. Far better. Oh my God. So much better.
So you reminded me of a trope that might actually apply here, and I'd like your opinion. There was a book I read a while ago where they did have, I don't think it was 10 families. I think it was like only 5 or 6. But basically, that clan, that family, isolated a specific power structure. For instance, one family fortified their body, One family fortified their heart. One family, or their mind. One family fortified their other aspect, and they kind of cornered the market on that particular magic. Do you think that the 10 families might follow that? Because you don't really see their specialties, if you will, mix. Like one of the families that we were mentioned, oh wow, this is one of the 10 families. He's built like a brick house. You can feel his physical presence this far away. You don't really hear that mentioned or even remarked on from the other families. The other families are like, oh, they're very sly, they're very this, they're very that. Do you think they're isolated by ability? That's why the family is like that, or like a Kekkei Genkai from Naruto kind of thing? Is that a possibility? And the 10 strongest ability families that came together to create some kind of pseudo we're in charge?
Sure, why not? I got nothing to say against it. I mean, it's not like we're giving information one way or the other. We're just like, blah, blah,
True.
blah. It's like, all right, cool, bro. Yeah, right on. You do you, boo.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we're not told. And again, that's why I was saying, it's like, I don't like that we just don't have the information. I hate that they're leaving us kind of flounder, so to speak, where they broach topics, broach information, and then they move on with their lives. It's like, all right, cool. One of the and one of the ones, like I said, we're going to talk about in the post show. Like they talked about it. They talked about it. They talked about it. They referenced it. They showed you. They told you about it, and then you got answers. It's like over the course of it, they talked about it. Everything that ends up happening, everything that is worth note is talk. Yeah, it's referenced in some fashion in season 1 or part 1, and halfway through part 1, you get another reference. Then you get to part 2, another reference, and then it's referenced again in part 3, and then you get to see the fruition here in part 4. Like you get to see it reiterated and talked about, and then used in multiple points throughout the story, and it's done like that for several things, even some of the more minor ones, where it's like when they're in the tournament and he throws down the fabric that turns basically into like a shield. They talk about it and they reference it, and then they use it as a basis for something else to allow him to do different sword technique or whatever it is, and then you get to see the fruition of said sword technique, and you get to see that payoff for it. But it was built on. Here, for some of it, for what I'm talking about is, all right, we're going to talk about this. Cool. All right, we're going to talk about this again. All right, cool. We're going to talk about this again.
Okay.
Why? We're going to talk about this over here and let you know more about this. What does that have to do with this? Like, oh, it's a shame he doesn't have any of the 10 master clans blood in him. Why? Like, what is the reasoning behind that? What was the purpose of that comment? I mean, like, that's a pretty big bomb to drop. It's a shame he doesn't have this. Or are we sure he doesn't have this? Why would it matter if he does? Like, no one's saying anything one way or the other.
Okay, now you got me thinking it might not be a cornering of an ability so much as... Okay, like, so maybe...
Like, we know that they have political power. Like, we know that the 10 master clans have political power. We know that the Yotsuba clan, they focus primarily on fighting, and that was the whole premise for them. They view magic as a weapon, right?
Mm-hmm. Purely as a weapon. So is it possible that instead of it being the corner specific abilities, the 10 clans just have a this is going to be out of context, I know, but for lack of a better way to say it, they've got a higher metachlorian count than the regular people? I mean, did that make sense? Does the comparison, I mean, if you got the blood of the 10 clans, maybe you just have naturally stronger magic abilities?
I don't know. Probably. Maybe. we don't know who his father was, unfortunately, because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just spawned into existence and I have these great Jedi abilities now. Thank you very much. Except we actually know who his father is. You meet his father and you know who the mother is, except she's dead. So you can't play the whole parents are dead thing, even though they have their own house.
No.
And he has a stepmother too.
He's got the makings of a Batman. I'm just saying.
Well,
no, I'm not saying that.
I mean, like, he was kind of looking the part too towards the end.
Well, I'm not saying that like he has to have like a mystery of it, but they're saying if he would have had the blood of the 10 families, maybe that means he would have had a better or a deeper reservoir of magic to use. That being said, his ability to use what he has is so fine-tuned and so specialized and so niche.
Yeah, but that, like, what does that
what he do with his sister's abilities?
Right. Well, here's the thing. What else could that mean? Like, it could mean, well, maybe he's got some extra power, or maybe this, or whatever it is, because he's got a wealth of power. So I don't think it's magical powers, because there are people that are not part of the Master Clans that have a wealth of amount of power. Magic specifically, magic power specifically.
Yeah.
Let me reiterate that. But they just say that off the cuff randomly. And then right after they say that, he goes, hey, you should totally marry so-and-so and be a part of the 10 clans. Okay. Thanks for that random portion there too. What the heck is that? Why would you say that? What is the purpose behind that?
Manipulation.
Yes.
I don't know. It's one of those things where you are right. They say it a lot to almost the point that it means nothing, but they still want it to mean something. So yes. I'm hopeful that in season 2, something comes about, something makes sense. That particular part, I hate to agree with you, doesn't make much sense to me because it doesn't have a finish. It doesn't have. It just that line of thought does not have a conclusion. Now, if it's got a conclusion in season 2, fantastic. If it doesn't, and then it has a conclusion in season 3, it's probably something we should have introduced in season 2.
Yeah.
But the payoff for the amount of times, the worst part about it is the more you mention it, the more you bring it to my attention, the more obvious and kind of blaring it is. Because it was a throwaway comment for me. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But the fact that it came to your attention and you're like, hey, what about this? Yeah, it's not every episode, but almost.
Yeah, it is
to
mentioned.
Have no real payoff.
Yeah, it is mentioned a lot. Is there a lot? And then it's just like, all right, cool. Like, what am I supposed to do with this random information? What am I supposed to do with this? Thank you for telling me. Congratulations. Oh, Tatsuya did this really great thing, and now I gotta go out there and I gotta show off my super miraculous shield skill.
You're right.
Hey!
He's giving me the confidence to bring this bad boy out. What did you think about the dude with the black eyes? I think they called him the Patriarch.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah. Definitely is very interesting. Definitely very, very wondering. I mean, we know that he is the Patriarch is basically the teacher of Tatsuya's mother and aunt. So we know he's got a lot of power, and he is very, very, he's a lot stronger than what he lets on. And you see him introduced or talked about or him there at the behest of others a couple of times, but that's it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of information on him. It's like a lot of the other side characters, right? Where you have like Eric or Leo, beginning or at the start, they get a lot of screen time, or they seem like they're really pivotal. And then they just fade away to the background once the larger portion of that arc kicks in. And then they're right there again. It's like, aha, we're going to have this training montage sequence. We're going to do this thing. And And then they're gonna fade away, and then we're gonna do this other thing, and they're gonna be the focal point again, and then they're gonna just fade away again.
See, I don't like how you're doing this because I genuinely like this show. Season 1 I thought was pretty damn good, but you're bringing up points that make it really not good. And the issue is, you've got valid points. Not only do you have valid points, like, you make sense where they don't. And I was just so caught up with the actual show and the badassery and the, I think over here, now it goes boom. Like, I really don't like it because I was going to be like, oh yeah, this is a solid 9.5, 9, 10 almost. But like, if someone were to clip the last 15 minutes of us talking, they'd be like, wow, they really think this is like Glass Lip Part 2.
Oh, it's a great show. It's good. It's action. The artwork is very nice. It's got its funny comedic moments. It's got plot for sure. Has plot magic everywhere. Plot magic everywhere. But at the same time, there's a lot of plot black holes, plot magic holes.
Fair enough. Yeah, plot potholes. What do you think? All right, this is a good question for you, I hope. What are your two favorite moments in this season 1? If you want time to wait, I can tell you my favorite 2.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your favorites first.
My first favorite was when he was fighting in the tournament, and then they bring him in, and looks like he's outclassed, looks like he's going to basically get murked. And then when he should die, he doesn't, plot, whatever. And then he snaps his fingers and blows everyone's eardrums out. I thought that was an ingenious use of the little magic that he has. He wasn't able to physically attack, but sound waves count. And that I thought was using brain over brawn. Now, my second favorite is when he blew up that ship with I don't even know what it was in the episode Precursor. Like, it was a nuke that he fired off somehow.
Yeah, it's
and that's
like
that's your initial.
The materialization, whatever it is. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
They go into detail later on, but at the very first episode, when you're introduced to our 2 main characters, she's talking about her brother being super awesome, and you see him do this awesome feat that you later again see again. But you see that, and you're like, dude, he is badass. And then you realize that to me was awesome because it sets up he is actually competent. He is actually awesome. And you're just waiting the rest of the show for it to show itself.
Yeah. I would have to say, I'll go with the beginning, first episode. And it's first episode, second episode, when he fights basically the vice president of vice chairman or whatever they want to call the student council, when he fights him.
Yeah.
And after they already had laid down the groundwork that he's got high physical abilities, not because of magic, but I like that they laid out. It's like, hey, just because you think I'm a low blow kind of guy doesn't mean I actually am. And my physical abilities obviously outrank yours. That is hands down.
Okay.
And then my second one, I would have to agree with you. The final battle for whatever that tournament was for them. And the reason why is because it showed his true strength, or not true strength, but basically it doesn't matter what your limitations are, you can still find a way. Because one of the things is for that tournament, you couldn't use anything that is considered rank A or lethal, which is also one of my, I'll get into it in a little bit, but where where again, he snaps, but what they called that flash casting. He didn't have to build up or do anything, use a CAD or anything like that. He was able to pull the full magic sequence instantly out of his memory and use that magic instantly. Like that's what makes it crazy fast. Now, the reason why he ranked so low and why he's class 2 is because his magic, doing just basic magic, he's really, really slow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's why that brings up kind of why I think it's kind of cruddy is take his comments during that whole thing. You have the one guy where he's like a walking tank and is able to blow people up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Tatsuya goes, I don't think I could beat him even if there were no restrictions on this, and blah, 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 blah. Never mind. Excuse me. While at the beginning of episode 1, you see me as a kid blow up an entire ship like it's nothing. And excuse me while I do other things that are obviously way stronger and more devastating than anything else he could possibly do, apparently. But I don't think I could actually beat him.
That reminds me.
I don't think so.
I get what you're saying. But I think that reminds me of another book I read where this guy got mass telekinesis, and basically, if he telekinesed a rock up and over 8 feet, he lost that physical he got tired from it physically. Like he physically picked it up and moved it. And he beat a plethora of enemies that were charging him by doing something in their brain, which exhausted him to the point of twitching his finger 35 times. Basically, he envisioned his finger in their brain, in their cognitive ability, mushing it. And so I think that's where that comes from. He is kind of slow. He is a little bit but I think what he's doing was...
Well, he's slow when it comes to normal magic, not combat magic. He's adept at combat magic. He's if you're fighting him, he's actually good. How he's able to do things. It's the standard practical magic. He sucks. But the school didn't test him for things he's actually good at. They tested him for things he sucks at. And again, like a lot of the other people that are there that do magic or that have magic, a lot of them doesn't look like they're physically fit or capable individuals. They rely heavily on magic. So even if he was, I don't know, this lower than him in terms of magic, which obviously I'm fairly confident in saying that he's not, he'd still be able to beat him in terms of physical prowess. Anyways, go over there and just slap the tar out of the kid like it's nothing.
Oh, yeah. So I have a question then. Do you remember when his sister took flight?
Yes.
And they were testing the flight.
Yes. Okay.
And they were he went to the facility and they started testing the flight prior to giving it to her.
After.
Prior.
She already had it on there. After he perfected it or got it down, he took it there because she already had flown with it in his own personal lab at home. He took it there. Yeah. They tested it even more, and everyone else ran out of magic and they were exhausted. And they go, yeah, not everyone has magic like you, so they can't use it as long. Yeah.
I figured you meaning her, but they also, in that same episode, they said that the CAD, the little magic device they use, is actually bringing magic from the ambient air and sucking it in and using that as a source of power in addition to themselves. But it was so inefficient that no matter how much you've got around you, it's still going to suck you dry before it's able to use the ambient air first.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need to make it more efficient. We need to do this. We need that.
Yeah.
So is it possible that yes, he's got low magic, but his equipment is fine-tuned that it's able to suck the necessary magic out of the air around him to compensate for the lack of power, the lack of magic? No. Okay.
The reason why I say that is because they ask him at the beginning of episode 1, do you really need so many storage devices? He goes, yeah, because I burned through a lot of magic real quick.
Hmm. I mean, yes, but at the same time, those were rather inefficient tools.
No, those
Is
were
it possible that he manipulated one later on to make it? Or
those
no?
tools that he used at the beginning were his, and they were custom.
Oh.
Those were no one else's,
Okay.
and he continued to use those throughout.
Hey, you're talking about the guns. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I got nothing against that. Yeah, that's a valid point. Maybe he lied and each magazine had a different precasted spell?
No.
No. Well, I got nothing then. I was thinking that each magazine had its own. This is the spell that goes here. This is the spell that goes here. So he could load them up, for instance, or refresh them, refill them, re-energize them when outside of combat, so that they were always combat ready.
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
all right.
I feel like if we were to keep going, we would go into post-show territory.
Yeah. So, scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
For me, I like I said, I was at a 9.5. Now I've dropped down to like 7.5. So it's a solid 7. It might crouch up to 8. Unfortunately, I won't find out until we watch the next seasons. So I'm gonna have to stick with a 7. I would recommend. I would watch again. I would everything. I think this anime is amazing. The issues that we had before do bring it down, but in a normal anime, that would drop them from like a 7 to a 2. Whereas here, the animation style is great. The storytelling seems awesome. So I think it makes up for the plot holes that they never really filled in season 1. So all that to say, I'm giving it a 7.
Okay. Before I give my score, I do want to say something because you got me thinking about what the CADs actually do. So I looked it up, and you were right, they do store magic, but not the spell itself per se. It's what a CAD does is it stores a pre-built activation sequence, basically digital magic blueprints, and when the magician channels their scions, what they call magic power, through the device, it converts it to a raw output of usable magic sequence almost instantly. So instead of basically chanting an incantation for 10, 20, 30 seconds, you use the CAD and you're able to use your spell.
Okay, so it's preloaded, but the power still comes from you.
Yes.
Okay.
With that information, do you want to change your score?
No, because it would go from a 7.5 to like
7 3/4.
Still 7.5.
Okay.
Barely, yeah.
So 7 for you. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go 6. I'm going 6 because honestly, there was just so much there. There's not enough information. A lot of it was, I feel like a good third had a lot of it was just kind of throwaway stuff. Just filler, didn't necessarily need to be there. It's kind of blah. Took longer than what it actually should have to build up for stuff that actually never paid off to anything anyways. So that's why I'm going 6. So 7 for you, 6 for me. Next week, obviously, we're going to go season 2. Hopefully they give us a little bit more information. So we'll see about that. And yeah, so thanks for joining us.
Real quick.
Yes.
If they do answer some of your questions, do you reserve the right to change your answer for season 1? Or
No.
It's locked in?
It's locked
isolated.
It's isolated. It's like, why would I
okay.
I'm not going to change my answer or my score on season 1 because season 1, I should not have to rely on the hopes and dreams of season 2 answering questions from season 1. Season 1 either should give me the information or make it feel like it was adequate enough to where I'm not hating it.
Okay. I mean, I didn't think you hated it to begin with, but that's fair.
So yeah, 6 for me, 7 for you. Season 2 next. Well, that's all that we have for today. If you feel like we did too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, want to talk to us, hang out with us on Discord, or watch us live on Twitch when we stream our episodes, all the contact information's in the show notes and on featuredanimepodcast.com, along with our store and all the ways that you can support us with our affiliate links, plus patreon.com/featuredanimepodcast. $1 a month will get you access to bonus content and 2 bonus shows every single month. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and I'd like to point out you revamped the website. I highly recommend you go it. Beautiful. Love it. And we'll see you next time.